What up, y'all?
What's up? Well,
go ahead and everybody was commenting like right off the reel. We got Greg O'Ree, what's up? Mr. Tim Green, Mr. Bruce Howerson, how you doing, brother? Thomas Potter, one of our guests we've had on that killed it, and another guest we had on that had us dying laughing, Mr. Nick Gill. What's up, brother? Dude, I gotta go back.
Igor's back on.
Igor, what's up? He said good morning. I wish. I feel like
there's my lovely wife. She's
hey, Mandy. Yeah, I heard she just made it back home. I'm glad you made it home safely, Mandy.
So, hey, I'm glad I saw Igor comment last week or whatever, but I think he's over in Japan, so he's able to, the time-wise, he's able to watch it a little bit better.
Nice. I love it.
Appreciate you watching, brother. Anyway, yeah, we got a great show. I know
I'm pumped.
We both have finally been busy at work, so we're not going to get into all that. So, but I'm thankful that we're both finally
absolutely
getting back.
I'm stressed, but it's a good stress. You know what I mean? Like it's stress of problem solving, getting everything done in one day instead of problem solving, getting stuff in the shop in one day. So yeah.
Great show. So I'm going to let you take the lead on this because you've gone through this. I have no clue. So I'm going to end up soaking up. I'll have some questions on that, but I'll end up soaking up the knowledge and all that from these two guys here. But you know, we've had our brother Matt Moore on before.
Love him to death.
If anybody wants to get to know Matt a little bit better, you can go back to one of our first episodes, watch that whole thing, get to know him outside of the PDR world. But a little bit different tonight. But we are going to get to know the other guest, Mr. Carson Woodall, who works for Matt and heads up his ceramic coating and all that kind of stuff. But we will get to know him towards the end of the show. But anyway, I'll let you take it away here.
Yeah, so I've talked about it, I guess, last episode, maybe the episode before that was when we were going. Matt Moore has now introduced ceramic coating training class to the PDR industry, which I think will be huge. I know it will be because I've been, and the value I got out of that, like I said before, we came back ready to roll with ceramic. Like before we went, like we got accredited G-Technic. G-Technic has a training class, but it's geared more towards detailers. So a dumb old dent guy like me, I'm like, I don't know what they just said. Like I don't have a clue. So Matt Moore, talked to him a little bit about it. He's like, I'm actually thinking about doing something. I was like, I want it right off the rip. So, you know how Matt is, makes it happen, and has a full-blown training course now. Like I said, we came back, like, fully ready to go. Carson was amazing with his training, like, got us really ready to ramp it up. So we were in the process of getting it ramped up now, and, yeah, it's been amazing. Like, I love it.
Awesome. And, I'll have some questions, and probably in the near future be getting with them too. But anyway, so let's go ahead and bring them on. Got Mr. Matt Moore here and Mr. Carson Woodall.
What's up, gentlemen?
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
How are y'all?
Doing very well, very well. Been bouncing back and forth around town all day today, and Carson's been prepping a Tesla for a ceramic coating that's sitting right behind him, and it's getting coated tomorrow. We were just talking off camera. G-Technic, the brand we use, actually uses our shop for a film studio because they like the flooring. So they're coming in mid-morning tomorrow to shoot him actually installing and get some footage, which is kind of cool.
Awesome.
And they send their installers like you, Andy, the footage to then use in your marketing, which is kind of cool also. So
yeah, with their marketing now too, they're actually offering where they do, they'll put up posts for you and everything, which is really cool. I think it's Soki or something like that, right, Matt? They'll automatically. Like the other day, we didn't have any social media going up. Like we're just so busy, forgot to post anything. Like clockwork, they threw one up for us. Like it was like, oh shit, wow. Nice. Yeah, Ray was joking. Ray seen it and he didn't realize what was going on with that. He was like, I'm gonna get on him, man. That ain't me doing the ceramic coating it now. So, but yeah, it's really cool. G-Technic's a great company. Like they really support their accredited dealers and everything. So I'm glad Matt talked me into getting with them. I was like, yeah, I couldn't have made a better choice. So.
They've been a really good partner for us because, like you said, we're dumb old dent guys in some ways, and as we were coming on board, we understood our customers, and I thought that our customers would want a good high quality product that was affordable, but it was also high quality and was backed and warranted and was well known, and they've been just excellent. I mean, honestly, I get approached probably every week by a different company wanting us to rep their products, and we've tested some, but the G-Technic is always as good or better than any product we like, and we have such a good relationship. just not interested in changing.
Absolutely.
And Carson, my lead installer at our Duluth shop, a lot of the guys that are watching probably see all this big, huge shop that we have, and we do a lot of coatings. It's a huge part of our business. And we brought Carson on, it's less than a year ago, but it was last year we brought him on, and he had I'll let you talk about your experience, but he was working in the world of detail. He had a ton of detail experience, and that's when it hit me. Carson came on, how little I actually, and even some of my team prior, I mean, we know how to sell, we know how to market, we know how to install, but the correction part, there is a science to it that we weren't implementing to its highest level. And Carson understood that. And I said, man, we're going to harness some of this energy. And I think that, anybody could learn from this, but specifically PDR guys, because we know how to have that conversation. So,
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You just made it make sense, which is really nice. Like, it didn't make sense before, and all of a sudden it's like it clicked when I was down there. So,
yeah.
Carson, you want to talk a little bit about your background with detail and ceramic coating, kind of how you got into it?
Yeah. So for the ones that don't know me, my name is Carson. I've been with Matt Moore for about 8 or 9 months now. I've been in the automotive restoration industry for about 8 years now, full time. I've been doing specifically G-Technic ceramic coatings for about 3 years in a row now. Have a ton of experience with other coatings such as System X, Guion, a couple others, and there's really nothing that stands up like G-Technic. So I'm very proud to be installing them.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And
Now,
you guys can't tell on the show, but Carson has a passion for this. Like, when he was training us, he was all in, like 150%, just ready to roll, like very knowledgeable. Like, any question was just bam, bam, bam. He answered them like that. So yeah, Carson's got it down to a T for sure.
One of the things that, I mean, you guys know in the PDR world and in the business owner world, they kind of joke that I'm the process guy, that I develop processes, and really I'm not that organized, but I realize the value of it, because if I'm left to myself, my own devices, it's chaos. And so processes help me to kind of stay in the lane and stay focused. And when we brought Carson on, and when we brought, when we really dove into ceramic and paint correction, we realized that it's not just buff a car, throw a thing on there. There is a process to do it. There's a process down to the products you use, down to how you inspect your test panels. Even before that, even the pre-wash to get the car prepped to ceramic coat, I was not washing a car correctly. And so you can ask Carson. We did a video together, and he was teaching me how to. So Carson, when he even came on board, he had a whole book of this is my process. This is how I teach. He'd been training a lot of the guys. So, it's been a good fit.
That's awesome. Yeah, the prep process is what I didn't realize. Like, when I got accredited with them, you just wash it and then you apply the coat, and it is not like that at all. Like, it's insane, the prep, because you got to have, you don't want any blemishes, because of what they just stand out when you get that coating on it, right? So
sure. Yeah.
Mr. Biggs.
What's up, Biggs?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and throw this up there. That way it's running the whole time. But so you have a website that's specific for this, and we'll get more into that. But I'm going to go ahead and put it up there, ceramic101.com. So anybody has any questions and wants to sign up for it and all that, you can go through here. And of course, both of y'all will talk more about it.
Ace wants to talk.
I think he's got to go out, so I may have to take myself off here for a second.
Panicky a little bit.
He's like whining over here for a second. So anyway, while y'all talk about that, I'll be right back.
I thought that might have been Max over there, Carson. Carson's got a shop dog that comes to work every day too, and he stresses if Carson's not with him. So
yeah, we got to meet Max. Max loves it when you're eating.
That's true.
What's up, Mr. Ivy? We got a Davo on. So, but yeah, what awesome. I love, everybody knows you say you're not organized and stuff, but like your training was organized to a T. Like the booklet, I was trying to find the booklet before the show. I got it right here because I've been going off of it. Like, I still stay on top of it and everything. So you guys had that plenty of detailed for even when we left. We know that we still got that to fall back on. And if we got any questions, like I think the first day I hit you and Carson both up, it's like, I'm going to be that guy. So here we go. So, and y'all are both quick to respond. So you don't only get the training, you get the knowledge from these guys, like, continued on and everything. And then I don't know if anybody's seen our social media, which I think it's just on YouTube right now, but the video that we had created out down there too, that was huge. That was worth the training all on its own, just having that amazing video that you guys made for us. So
yeah, sorry, we were texting. I think Carson's got a little bit of lag going on, so he's like catching some of this. So there might be a little bit of a slowness on this.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, so for here was my vision was this, like, if I were learning ceramic coating day one, which we did, we paid money to go to training. We paid money to take a team down to Tampa to do a training. When we did that, we came away knowing how to coat a car, but any paint correction, there was an already assumed, how to get it to that level.
Exactly.
And so I started looking, and there are a ton of paint correction classes that are hosted normally by either tailors or by coating companies, coating product companies. Those are usually the two that will train paint correction. And they do a great job. They're fantastic. They probably are better teachers than I am because they've been doing it longer. But the thing that I realized was all of them assume that you've been detailing cars for the last 5, 6, 7 years, and now you're adding correction, and then you're adding code on top of that. And it's just a different conversation. The reality is PR guys are really good at this very quickly because they have an eye, because they already look at lights all day. They understand how to read paint and read metal. And paint correction is about reading the swirls, reading the clear coat, and then applying the right product and pads and tools to that to do what you need it to do. Move into the office, get a little bit better Wi-Fi up there, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully nobody knocks on the front door. Hey, y'all still open?
We do get a homeless population that tries to use our bathroom at that location.
Oh, I fully understand. There was one that bummed about 30 cigarettes off of me while I was down there for training. Every time I went outside, he was like, "Are you serious?" No, it's all good though. But
so, Carson, sorry, I was chatting about the kind of my value of the training, and like what I, so what I wanted to bring was I wanted to bring in the whole process of like, here's how you wash a car, here's how you prep a car, here's what tools you need to buy, here's the products we recommend. We've done and we've tested a bunch of different crap that like some worked and some didn't, and here's the stuff. If I was buying it, this is what you start with based on your budget. And then I also was like, we like the idea of maybe helping the relationships with vendors. So I just actually shot you yours today, Andy, but G-Technic throwing in some credits at their website. I think they gave $100 to everybody who comes to the training just on their website. You buy one thing for $100 and walk away, and that's it. And then on top of that, my videographer, y'all see a lot of our videos. I value videos an enormous amount. And so we have our videographer here shooting footage so that every single attendee is going to walk out with basically a video with them explaining who they are, what they do, and that they're adding ceramic coating, exactly what ceramic coating is. So that when you walk away, in theory, the goal is that if you pay attention and you actually put yourself and apply yourself with the training, that when you go home, you can really buy one bottle and start encoding immediately. You've got the marketing to do so, you've got the training to do so, and you've got the tool resources to do so. To me, those are the things that I'd want to check off if I was starting this day one, and we had to check off through kind of sweat equity and go through it. But that's it. Carson, when you were, I'm not meaning to post.
No, you go for it. Have at it, brother.
Carson, when you're training up, you got 3 double dent guys on the screen. We're all paint beaters and, all that stuff. Compared to your training of other detailers, what's the learning curve like for guys like us?
Yeah, so I'm really happy that you bring that up. So it's very interesting. With people that have more of the detail side experience, you're typically going to see them being a lot more comfortable with the buffer. But more with PDR guys, they're a lot more comfortable with cutting and wet sanding. So it's pretty interesting to kind of bring them both together and find the common ground and then build off of that, and then just kind of watch them take flight,
Well, yeah. And Andy, were you part of that conversation when he was talking to you about the layers of the clear coat, like the responsibility and like the ethics of clear coat almost? Was that Nathan that he was talking to?
It might have been Nathan or it might have been Ray and Mike, because I think we kind of was off to the side a little bit too while he was. Was that when you was wet sanding the Jaguar?
Yeah, I believe that was when we were wet sanding.
Yeah, so that's when Ray and Mike was over there with him, and I think me, you, and Nathan, we were doing videos and stuff then. So, but the good thing was Ray was sitting there doing it, like he was part of it. So at least I got somebody coming back with that knowledge. So it was a lot going on. Like 2 days, it was an amazing 2 days, just nonstop. I loved it. Like, and that's the thing, you didn't slack on. Like, it was a constant, Monday morning to Monday evening to Tuesday morning to Tuesday evening. Like, it was nonstop training, and that was great. Like, you. For two days don't seem like a lot to train, but you guys packed it in. You packed it organized enough to where, like I said, I came back fully ready to roll. So I think Nathan would agree. I wish Nathan
you and Nathan were tired, man. We were all at the end of the.
We don't work that hard.
We weren't hard working.
We don't work that hard. What up, Jackie B? Do you want to get in a little bit too? Because we talk about it before here and there, but I don't think we talk about it enough live. Like why we think ceramic coating complements paintless dent repair so much.
For sure. So, our mantra here, our slogan is correct and protect. And the idea is the client comes in and every PDR guy out there knows this experience, whether you're a mobile guy or you've got a shop. Shop's even more expensive, but you paid some amount of money either through sweat equity, through marketing, through business cards, through the sign on your door, something to get that customer in front of you. And you've got this exchange of goods and services. And the honest to God truth is if you do an amazing 5-star, they are incredibly happy with your service. If they don't ever have another crappy day, you never have the opportunity to earn their business again. And it's like, that's kind of a broken, you go to a restaurant and the whole goal of a restaurant is to get you to make this your date night restaurant. You go there over and over and over, and a great service allows for you the opportunity to earn that customer's repeat clients. And obviously we get repeat customers at Dents, but we have zero control over their needs. We don't know when they're going to get it, if they're going to notice it, whatever. And so I like the idea of a shop, especially if you are moving to a shop, the amount of risk that you have to take. This, Andy, y'all know this. It's so incredibly high. A lot of the guys that are watching right now, I see Ryan on here. I see the guys at Dentless Touch on here. They all know Max on here. All of them know the risk that you have to take just to sell one freaking boarding. Yes. And to open all this up. And honest truth is, as I started trying to scale my business, I realized you have to sell a ton of boardings to justify having a manager, to having an estimator, to having an R&I tech. Unless you're in a hell market, it's really challenging to scale. And part of it is that, the guys in our industry are talented and we want to pay them good money and all that. But part of it is also, again, you don't have any control of that repeat value of that customer and the lifetime value of it. So the ceramic specifically, we were looking for a tools that would get us basically in front of the client earlier on in their ownership. They even needed a dent, right? So you think about window tint, ceramic coating, PPF. Those are the three things that typically are done within the first 3 months of ownership of a vehicle. And that's before they even need a dent. And if we do a good job with that client, not only will we make revenue and earn that client's business day one, you better believe they're willing to spend $2,000 on a ceramic coating or $4,000 on a PPF and ceramic. They're going to fix every dent for the lifetime of that vehicle. And if I'm doing my job right, and a lot of the guys are starting to invest in CRM systems, and even if you don't have a CRM, if you do your job right and make a good impression, let them know you do dent repair. They may not even know that. They find you because you're a ceramic coating, because you got the Google listing or YouTube video or whatever. And so for us, I love exactly, Mark. That's perfect, Mark. We do that every single week. We have jobs that go from either a dent guy that turns into a ceramic customer or a ceramic customer that when they get in, we find a dent and we'll come over and knock this dent out, or Mark knock it out or whatever. So for us, it's this idea that we can fix a dent on a customer and we can say, great, shake hands, great. If you want to protect this car and make it a little easier, maybe you don't have to drive through that car wash that's going to dig it up again, or maybe it's going to shine a little more, whatever it is, we can offer you a protection service on top of this, right? And then day one, exact customer 2 years earlier, when they buy their car in a ceramic coating, we've got it now protected. It looks clean. It looks amazing. But over the next few years, if you ever get a ding or dent, bring it back to us because we know how to handle the ceramic coating. We know how to baby it. And if you have an insurance claim for hail, we can actually get paid and reimbursed to re-ceramic it a second time over the top.
Right. So, Matt, you're breaking up just a little bit.
Sorry.
It's all good.
So yeah, I mean, so that's the marketing side of it that kind of brought me to the table for ceramic.
Right. That's what Andy's saying. He gets more work. He gets more work from finding damage the day they drop off. It always works. And yeah, then you got, you put the maintenance washes on there, like you're getting them to come back in the door ever so often with maintenance washes. So that's the more times you get eyes on that vehicle, the more you're often to be able to sell them, other services and stuff. It's huge. So I think the first time you told me about it and explained it, because I was like, why are you doing ceramic coating? Like, it seems like you got this dent thing down pretty good. And you explained it just like you just did. I was like, light bulb, like that makes perfect sense. So yes, where do I sign up?
Well, and you think about PDR guys. We were literally just talking off the air that your slow months are the win. When's the slow months of PDR?
Winter.
Right. So slow months are in the winter. Slow months are also somewhat in the winter for detailing, but a lot of people buy cars at the end of the year, and that tends to keep and help supplement. And this past December, we had a really, really strong ceramic coating month where we had a little bit of a dip in PDR, and it was like they're helping that to bridge that gap, those holes in the business.
Right. I think I even know when we were there, y'all had a ceramic, coating job or whatever, and Will's your PDR tech there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, that one y'all about to coat, I found a dent on it and sold it. So he had found a dent on one that was coming in for a coating job. So that was a perfect example right there of why it just makes sense.
Now, does it require to have like a super clean, air conditioned or heated shop? Or is this something that, like, okay, so my shop is an old mechanic shop that I've slowly turning into. So, is it something that if I can control the dust and that, is it something that if it's something I can do here, or is it something that I would need a
Carson? What do you think?
I mean, when it comes to as far as the installation side of things, it comes down to how clean can you keep your area.
Yeah.
So if you can control most of the factors of your environment, I think you'll have a good time. But if a lot of them are out of your reach, then there may be a little bit of trouble down the road. But yeah.
Well,
yeah, even humidity plays a part in it. Like that CSU Crystal Serum Ultra, the 9-year protection, it flashes so fast and humidity, like you're basically wiping on, wax on, wax off, like with a quickness, because I've messed that up. So
yeah, I'll say this: ceramic, you definitely won't dust flying around in a really dirty environment. But I would say that it's significantly less fickle than PPF is. Paint protection film needs an almost as near perfect an environment as possible. We're literally looking at building another shop. We're building a clean room for PDF installs that won't even have drop ceilings because we don't want particles falling down. Ceramic doesn't need that level of what ceramic needs. And correct me if I'm wrong, Carson, the most important thing is lighting and controlling the temperature and the airflow. If you can control lighting and temperature and airflow, you got a pretty high chance of success of ceramic. Is there anything? I mean, is that what you'd say is your checklist, Carson?
Yeah, I would just add on top humidity if you can control it.
I'm in South Alabama. That's out of my hands, baby.
Well, you would just have a faster curing time. It's not unsimilar to PDR when you're glue pulling. Your glue pull experience is going to be different than somebody in Minnesota. It just is. Exactly. Apollo would be y'all's problem.
Yeah.
Then, if you put on ceramic. And in the middle of a job, if Carson's in the middle of an install and the door stays open, even if it's not that humid, it changes the humidity in the air. Even if it's not crazy humid, it does. And so those are the things that you want to the best of your ability to control. And we don't have perfect control of it because we don't have a clean room and because we have guys coming and going all day long. But the more you can control, we talked about this a lot in the training with Andy, the more you can control that, meaning like we were talking about using brand new microfibers as often as possible, using, changing your pads every single, all the little things you can do to control your install and control your environment are only going to make it where you can do it faster, more efficiently, and a higher quality all at once.
Right. Yeah. You want to answer this one, Carson, about cured ceramic coating? It is It's not a same day repair, Andy, like paintless dent repair can be. You do have to let it cure overnight. You want it out of the elements as long as possible, basically. But Carson, I'll let you get more in detail about that.
Yeah, so the curing process for G-Technic ceramic coatings, it cures about 70% in the first hour, and the next 24 hours it will cure the rest. And you definitely want to wait about a week before you get the car wet and try to wash it.
Right. We got another
So
one.
even trying to keep it out of the rain for a week, or just wash
Yeah,
it?
it's okay if it gets wet, but I would say just try to keep it out of the rain.
There again, I'm done.
Remember that earlier we were talking before the show was like, say yes and then find a solution.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'd have to build a whole
figure out the details.
I'd have to build a whole barn over here just to hold cars for a week.
So Jeremy's saying, you want a constant.
We don't hold
conditions. It gives you problems. The variance of conditions. It's what you're getting at.
Correct.
Perfect.
And we don't hold cars for a week, just so you know, Brandon. Like we do we do a full corrections based on 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, however, whatever. It's based on what the client agrees to sell and what we recommend and the price point. And then typically we coat the vehicle. Like tomorrow, you're coating the Tesla. We were talking about this in the shop. You're going to coat that vehicle tomorrow, and then you'll probably be done with that sometime mid-afternoon, midday. Start the next vehicle, and that one will just sit, and it'll sit overnight. And the next day, more than likely, I guess on Friday, the client's coming to pick it up.
And you just tell the clients, hey, try to keep it out of the weather.
Try
to get
you got a garage, leave it in the garage.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
These are clients that are making a long-term investment in their vehicle. I mean, what you're selling when you're selling a ceramic coating is, it's extremely hydrophobic. It makes the car glossy. It makes the car slick. It makes it, almost give it a wet look. It's going to make it where things don't stick to it. Pollen blows off faster. It doesn't mean it doesn't get wet. It doesn't mean it can't get swirled or watermarks, but it means water rolls off significantly faster and easier. It makes it easier to wash. And so if you're making this investment, you're putting 5-year and 9-year coatings on your car. Being patient for the first 3 days after you take delivery is probably an important part to make it last as long as possible, right? And so normally you can educate clients on that, and they'll respond to that appropriately.
Now once that G-Technic is cured, have y'all played around with any kind of wet sanding or like with us PDR guys, 2,000, 3,000 grit? Does it, if it's properly put on, cured, everything, I've heard you can't, and I've dealt with some before that you can't really see much of a sand mark on there. So I just did one the other day, a PDR job, and I had to sand, the scratches and stuff because just trying to polish that out. And she's like, well, it had ceramic coating put on there. I don't know what kind.
Permaplate.
And
such a saying.
I mean, it was like I was sanding on regular old clear coat. It, like nothing was on there.
So I'll say this in my experience, and Carson, you could probably tell the difference between them and why they're different. But the stuff that dealerships, 95% of dealerships, the ceramic they're selling it's BS. It's not a good product. It's not real ceramic. There's doing zero paint correction. They're essentially buying very similar stuff to what you can buy at AutoZone and spray on and wipe off. And there's not going to cure. It's not going to level the same way. It's not going to do what a high professional quality ceramic is. In my experience, when we've done PDR on ceramic, we touched ceramic cars before we had gotten into doing it ourselves. And you're trying to glue pull. We had a hail car. I think Ray Satney was working with us on one. He couldn't get the damn glue to stick on the rail. It just wouldn't stick. And we called the customer and we're like, hey, trying to figure out the solution. They were like, oh yeah, it must be that ceramic coating. Oh, okay. So we actually sanded and then polished that entire rail, pulled it. And then at that experience, we actually found out who they got it coated with, paid them to recoat it over the top.
Okay.
That's right.
Jackson, you mean just because the dealer is more expensive than AutoZone, it isn't better?
Yeah, and this one was an actual detail company that did it, and they actually sent her to me. But
and it may be that it may be that they've got a product on there that's a 2-year product. I mean, we have everything from 2-year, 5-year, and 9-year product based on what the client is asking for. So we primarily sell our 5 or 9-year. We very rarely ever sell a 2-year. unless it's a customer who may have bought one years past and wants to kind of re-up and just add a couple of layers on the top. That's kind of where that 2 year would come in. So it might have been that she got a thinner
base level. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if we can only figure out how to get Noah to be able to add that to a DenOps estimate to get ceramic coat everyone with the DenOps, would be perfect.
I encourage every dent guy, if you're not already, ask every single customer, especially if it's an insurance. I mean, if it's an insurance claim, if it's any kind of hail claim, hybrid collision claim, ask them if they have PPF or ceramic on the vehicle. And if they say, yes, I do, and I bought it at a dealership, the next question should be, do you remember how much you paid or how long of a coating it was? And if most of the time they don't remember what they paid. Just remember some number of years that they gave them. And so then we turn around and basically, as long as the client's willing to say that to their insurance adjuster, we can get reimbursed for whatever coating they had on their vehicle. Because it is a clear product that you can't see in pictures that you're sending to Geico or whatever. They will reimburse you based on the verbal conversation with the client. So we get a lot of opportunities to resell other old clients, but also a customer who buys the $1,000 crap at the Honda dealership. When they come to us, we ask them if they have ceramic. We're like, well, you put a 5-year on there. We're going to actually redo it and do a better 5-year on it, just so you know. And if you want to pay for us to paint correct it, I'll do that here. Or if not, coat it. So we give them those options.
I'm going to ask a question like I don't know, so you can answer for everybody else. So your dealerships that offer these, or the crappier ones or whatever, do you ever try to get in those dealerships to offer something, a coating through yourself?
Yeah, we have opened the doors with the advent for us of PPF ceramic and window tint. We have landed more body shops and dealerships faster, offering one or all of those services that then led to us being their PDR guy down the road, because they aren't most. We opened a new shop 2 years ago, the Duluth one we did at. We didn't have any relationships with body shops, dealerships, or anybody. There's plenty of great dent guys in Atlanta, so all the body shops already had a dent guy. But because we have earned the trust and built the relationship by basically saying, when you sell this car, when you have a ceramic, rather than you dealing with it, Mr. Body Shop, just call us, give us the VIN number. We'll send you a bill today. You give us the client number, you close the book and get paid from the insurance, and then we'll reach out to the client, get them in, and actually close the deal. And basically, and now that customer is happy, and we love it because we've earned that customer's business. And the last ceramic or PPF or window tinter they work with is us, and so now that's a lifetime customer for us. So it's like we've leveraged those talents and those relationships together on both sides.
Hey, I'm impressed. We have impressed Jeremy Nadeau, and we have not talked about hunting not one time. So I'm blown away right now. Like, we must be doing something right here.
And I want to talk more about the product. That's going to be Carson. I know the marketing and the business side, and I can nerd out on that. So y'all, any questions you have about product, pitch at him, and I'm going to, I'll take a back seat to that.
Well, I'll ask a question. Carson, you want to explain what year protections that G-Technic has?
Excuse me, I believe you cut out. My what that G-Technic has?
What year protections, different protections they have?
Yeah, so G-Technic has the 2-year, 5-year, and 9-year. 9-year is going to be Crystal Serum Ultra. 5-year is going to be Crystal Serum Light. 2-year is going to be C2V3. The 2-year is more of a topper coat, like Matt said. We don't get it too often. If we have some people that come in and the pores of their ceramic coating are very clogged and not able to be saved, we will apply some C2V3 that will open up the pores and let the clear coat breathe. And one thing that I did want to touch that we were talking about earlier with, I feel like there was a little bit of confusion with the bonding procedure that we were discussing. Within the first hour, G-Technic clear ceramic coatings bond 70% of the paint. So with using Crystal Serum Ultra as an example, Crystal Serum Ultra is a 2-layer coating that is applied in a single layer application. There's a soft layer and a hard layer. The soft layer is going to be the first one to cure. That's going to be the 70% within the first 1 to 2 hours. After application, and then the 24-hour period, it's going to develop that hard layer over the top of the ceramic as the clear coat is able to breathe over time. It's okay to get the vehicle wet. It's not gonna knock down the longevity, but it's kind of one of those situations where you're only gonna get the most protection if you keep the surface as clean as you could possibly keep it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't know if it got wet, like if it was going to leave cloudiness or mark
no, it's completely fine if the vehicle gets wet. The only thing is if the ceramic is not fully bonded with the clear coat, when the vehicle does get wet, you have the possibility of introducing more hard minerals.
Gotcha.
That will eventually etch into the clear coat. So it's just kind of minimizing
and that makes
risk.
sense.
Yeah.
So Jack says he needs to understand. He needs you to explain to him like he's 5, and then he's going to need you to go back and explain to him like he's 3 after 5.
Okay, let me think how I could really describe this. G-Technic is a solvent-based coating, which means as you apply it to the vehicle, it's going to, so talking about Crystal Serum Light as an example for this example, Crystal Serum Light is a single layer, single application, 5-year coating by G-Technic. It is a solvent based, but between the 5 and the 9-year, there are different layers of solvent. So for the 5-year, I could wipe on and I could wait just about 15, 20 seconds and let the coating absorb into the clear coat and essentially wipe it off and kind of do a little hand buff on with a second towel and really not have any issues. Leaves a nice glossy protected look.
See you, Andy. Other Andy.
But when you get with the 9-year, it becomes a lot more solvent based with the coating. So as you apply the first layer, it's going to flash very, very quickly. It's going to absorb into the clear coat. Like Andy had said, he's a witness very, very, very quickly.
Fast.
And
fast.
And that could be due to any kind of variable in the elements of your surroundings. Everything kind of reacts in its own different way. But to be short and sweet, the difference between the 5 and the 9-year are the amount of solvent base in the clear and the ceramic coating as it is.
See, what's cool is Carson's not just a detail, like he's the science of it. He's got the science down pat, like he is into this. So that's what makes it really cool. It shows you can't just go be like, hey, I'm just going to do ceramic coating and be ready to roll. Like you've got to understand all of it.
So what we do in the class is typically Carson talks about the science and really explains the why and the theory. And then I'm like, I pull Andy aside and I'm like talking to him like the 4-year-old. And I'm like, what it means is this dry is different than the other one.
And I still mess it up.
But I mean, so seriously, we were talking about this earlier. Like anybody watching who wants to learn ceramic coating can watch YouTube videos that are going to say a lot of the same stuff. And they can go to their local distributor and call them and say, hey, come train me. And they're happy to take your money and come train. What I do feel like the reason we opened our doors to even do this, and we're kind of targeting the collision recon PDR business, is because I feel like we can translate things in a way that makes sense to a PDR guy and makes it a significant faster learning. So we would give examples when we were talking. I would say it's kind of like this in PDR. So when he was talking, I was like, it's kind of like with the different glues. The difference in glues is they're all doing the same thing. One of them has, I don't even know what it is, but one of them has something that makes it dry faster, but it doesn't hold long. One of them makes something that, like, Cam Auto glue stays longer and it takes longer. So like, we would liken it to something in PDR, and it helps you to kind of just wrap your brain around it in a much faster, more applicable turn time too.
Right. Yeah, do you, Jack's basically asking about the maintenance of a coating, like the maintenance washes and stuff like that. You want to get a little in depth with that?
Sure. So I guess the theoretically saying if you have a brand new car and you just got a ceramic coating and you're looking to wash the vehicle after about 1 to 2 weeks, I would definitely look for pH neutral soaps. It's going to be any soap that's not acidic, not high in alkaline, that's very, very gentle to your paint. You would look for something as far as that. Every month, every 2 months, you could apply C2V3 as a topper just to give an extra layer of protection and hydrophobics to the surface. And every 6 months, I would totally recommend doing an iron decontamination to clean out all the pores of the ceramic so it can breathe with the clear coat and bring back water repellency.
Nice. And that's
So
something you guys usually try to offer through the shop, like, hey, bring it back for that maintenance wash. Let's decontaminate. Let's do all that. So what?
So in our CRM, it actually emails the client and reminds them that they have it coming up.
That's amazing. Trying not to hit too hard on prices with this stuff, but around about, what would you say for a maintenance wash? What are you getting that returning investment on that?
I mean, if someone walks in off the street and says, I just want to wash, we're not a detail company. We don't want to wash cars for a living. That's not, there's no money in that, honestly. And you're going to get such a wide range of clients that can, you know, some of them are your exact clients and a lot of them are going to be nachos, you know, and not your customer or whatever. So, you know, but generally speaking, for a maintenance wash, if someone just called us off the street, we had never coated it, charge $300 for that service. Typically for our clients, what we will do is we will say, if you come in on this scheduled one, we give you once a year, we'll do it for $150 as you know, because we want to encourage them to come back, at least try to come back annually. For it's almost like a rotate and balance of your tire, because our real value in that is not to, we want to maintain it, make it last a long time, but it's also to look for dents, to talk to them about window tint that they thought about last time, but they couldn't afford because they bought the ceramic. It's to offer us opportunities to touch that car and to look it over and to kind of, you know, and so for us, we don't mind giving a little bit of a discount, but somewhere between that 150 and 300 is pretty standard industry. It's in our market. That's what we see.
So I know you'll go over all this in your, you know, training courses. It's just my question. So before you do any ceramic coating, I know you got to wash the vehicle properly. Do you have to color correct every single one of them before you apply the G-Technic?
It helps that you do it.
Okay.
And what that does is essentially taking any kind of contaminants that are not visible to the eye, removing them from the surface and providing a better bonding experience for the coating.
Gotcha.
So going back to your coating is only going to last as long as you keep the surface clean. If there's a little bit of contaminants on there and then you apply the coating on top of the contaminants, it's not going to bond properly and then you're going to lose some of the lifeline of that coating.
So the better the prep work, the better it's going to bond and last.
We discussed that in trainings, like do it right the first time so you're not going back.
And
like a dent. Start slow with a dent, you know what I mean? So it's the same thing with ceramic coating. You got to start the right way to make it end result great.
But yeah, anyway, that was my question because I knew people were going to ask that.
Uh-oh, Hudson, I ain't even read it yet. We did. We went to Hibachi.
Better bonding experience. He's just being a dork. It's dad joke.
I love it. You gotta love Hudson.
That's good.
And not only are you getting the training of learning how to install this, you're getting marketing. Like you got to open door to Matt, like to ask him anything you need about like how to sell it and stuff like that. Like I learned a lot about selling it because I didn't have a clue about that either. Like my selling point for that was it's like wax but better. You know what I mean? So like you get to learn in depth. And one thing Matt said is that you got to know your customers too. Like trucks, somebody comes in with a truck, and he's like, you know that shiny bass boat, like your truck could look like that. And they're all over that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we sell to big F-150 owners at the store I'm standing in Athens, but then the store Carson's in, it's a ton of Teslas and BMWs that come through. So you have to have two different conversations. And I mean, that's for me, you know, what we're doing in our doors, just showing our thanks. I don't know. It's not all that now. I don't know who that was, but it's funny. It opens our doors to showing you guys kind of how our internal process is, but it's the install and the prep and the coating and wash, everything we use, but then also the marketing, but then also the here are the products we recommend. And then you know, with Andy, I haven't even said this, but one of the things we do is that you know, you can go find a distributor locally to buy product. You can go to AutoZone and buy some products, but you can find a professional detail distributor locally to buy product from. But most of the time, they're going to start you at either 0 discount or 5% or maybe 10% discount based on your volume you buy. We get 15% on everything we buy. And so our distributor basically allows, there's a code we give, but basically you can buy anything you want and you get the exact same because they want to open they're buying and you're like you're buying under our umbrella. So we all, and cards on the table. The goal is that if enough guys do this and we all buy together, then next year we can come back and say, hey, everybody, we got 20% now because we bought, blank amount worth of products last year all together.
Right.
So my goal was to kind of create that. I'm not distributing it. I don't have any part of parts, but basically you're going to get the discount I get, and you can buy $100 worth of stuff. You can buy $500 worth of stuff, or you can buy $15,000 worth of it. It doesn't matter. You get the same discount I get. So,
Jack was asking like the equivalent to customers' misconception of plungers and dips. I can answer that. It's going to be.
That's what I was going to say.
You quote a ceramic coating, a great ceramic coating. They're going to. So and so Joe Blow said he can do it for $50, and it's
or I can
special.
go to Amazon and buy that. They make a spray on one.
So yeah, that's kind of your equivalent to PDR and dents popping. Yeah. So then Mandy asked, curious as to what happens if a customer doesn't follow directions given something messes up. Is there a warranty for stupidity? I love it.
No, I mean, so we've had that happen twice since I've been doing where it's a customer who washed the car. One of them went to a beach and a sprinkler was shooting all over the car, left it in the sun while they went to the beach all day, and they came out and there was water spots all over it. Well, that hard water that's at the beach. And they're like, I thought the ceramic would keep the hard water off of it. I was like, well, it helps it to make it faster, but it's not going to protect it from you leaving beach water on it all day and baking in the sun. It makes the water roll off at a very high rate, but it doesn't mean that there's not going to be some water in the flat spots. What we did in those experiences was we educated the client on what went wrong. And we gave them an option at a very reasonable rate to redo it for them. I have since created a video showing, Carson and I did it together. You could find it on our YouTube page, showing every client how to hand wash your ceramic coated vehicle. We have a whole landing page for it. We have a video for it. And then every single client, we actually give them an email. You could do it with a pamphlet. You don't have to create a video. You could create a pamphlet, but we send that to every client so that we know that we have put in their hands the tools to do it. Because we verbally say it when they pick up, how to hand wash it, how to care for, and how to take care of. But not everyone's listening. They're excited to see their car. There's a little bit of a glaze over their eyes when they're seeing it. And so we just want to do everything we can to make Matt a video. No way. Yeah.
Matt make a video. No way.
So this is cool too. I don't know if you caught this, Jack. Anyone who comes to the training, actually my videographer shooting a video with you at the class, buffing, coating, washing the car, all the stuff. And then you are also being interviewed talking about what ceramic coating is, so that when you walk home, a month later, when you get that video, you can immediately start marketing your ceramic coating. It's one video, but it's something that helps you to explain to your customers when they're interested. You send them a text. Hey, let me shoot you a text about that ceramic I talked to you about. And it just explains what it is.
Brandon, you want to pull up that screen? You can kind of see this is the video for his training, but this is it's the same videographer.
No, if you scroll down on that screen, Andy's video is on my website too.
Sweet.
All right, so yeah, this is the ceramic101.com. So if y'all look right there, then you got your video, you got all your other stuff here, and of course here's.
We don't have to watch the whole thing. If you just want to click on it for a second, just to kind of
you see Andy right here, and
I'm watching. I'm learning. Shit, I pay for this. I was going to learn every bit I could.
So yeah, y'all can visit this. Here's Matt, explaining to looks like Andy.
That was the total hey, act like I'm saying something cool, and while I'm just talking.
let me say that really profound thing a second time.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I love it. But yeah, y'all go check this out, and
so we're limiting every class that we do. For now, we're going to limit it to 8 attendees, just so that it's extremely hands-on. The goal of this is to be every single person who's there, we give kind of a background on what ceramic coating is. Obviously, you're going to know if you're paying money to go to a training, but we're going to go through an entire process of this is what we do. This is kind of and you walk away with a playbook. We give you a playbook. Literally, it's I don't know how many 20-page handbook on all the stuff we cover in the class, but it's what we go over that before we even start. Then we go out, we hand wash a car all together. We talk about why we hand wash it. We talk about how to inspect it. And then we're down in Georgia. We're doing this at our Duluth shop, which is a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia. So,
and just being able to go to that shop alone is well worth the money spent. You walk in, it's like angels start singing, and all kinds of crazy shit happens. So,
so you're going to hand wash the car. Then we go over and we talk about what the difference of paint, 1-step paint correction, 2-step is. We're going to paint correct the vehicle. That's a significant portion of our time. It's just hands-on correcting a vehicle, showing how to what a test is, why one buffer or one pad works different than this pad. They look the exact same. They feel the same. Why does one work better on this paint and one work better with this compound? We go through the actual compound polishes that we use. We have several different ones we go over. We test panel it all together. It's a very hands-on training. And then we move from there into the prep for coating. We do the whole coating. We troubleshoot when we screw up together. We troubleshoot when we lose a high spot on a ceramic coating altogether. Because that's going to happen. You're going to have screw ups. It was my fault. Carson wasn't watching him, and I was. And so.
Yeah, Matt was my trainer for when I screwed up. So I needed Carson in my life then.
That's definitely on me. But we're going to do that, and then part of it is also going to be we're going to go over. I mean, part of the handbook that Andy got is. This is what we charge. I mean, I'm an open book. You could cold call us and pretend to be a customer and get all my prices, or you could walk out with a book with exactly what we charge in our market. You're going to take it home and figure it out in yours. But it's a pretty industry standard, somewhat pricing of we found for the different processes, the different products. And then we even talk about, how long each process should take so that when you go back, you can start thinking about when I'm doing a job, am I taking too long? Am I doing the right amount of time? Am I going too fast? You can go from there. And then you walk out with a video in your back pocket later. So that's kind of the whole thing. That's what we're offering basically. So.
Well, and touch on the playbook too. There's a list of like the materials you guys use. So, because I used that when I got back, I needed to order everything. I went to that page and went through the list, and I mean, it was right there in my face to be able to make it easy to order. Now I'm not sitting there like, oh God, I forgot everything. So he made that very detailed as well.
To Jack's point, I tried to make this for 5-year-olds basically.
He did.
And I hire a college professor to teach, and then here's the translation for you guys. Y'all go home and forget all the things that Carson said. Maybe this will help you to remember.
Right. So. And we didn't touch on the price. It is $1,600 for 2 days. The value of that, you can't find anything that you can train in 2 days, feel confident to go home and start doing, and have a whole nother service to offer your area for $1,600. That's a drop in the bucket for the overall what you're getting out of that. Like, it's huge. Like, I can't stress that enough.
I mean, cards on the table for us. We're limiting it to 8 people because we want to have 2 technicians and me. That's 3 of us there. That price point is roughly equivalent to what we can generate in ceramic with those bodies doing ceramic during that time. So it's not, we're not trying to get rich off this. We just can't get poor off this. We're literally stopping production, and y'all are coming alongside it and helping us basically. So that's what we're doing. So, I mean, that's how we do it. Products, this is nice. Yeah, exactly. I mean, think of the PDR tools. If you went through PDR training and somebody was like, look, you got $500. These are the 6-7 tools you need to buy. You got 1,000. Here's the next ones you should buy. You got 15. Here's the next ones you should buy. Go home. Don't buy all the shiny stuff. Get these, and then you can buy this other stuff down the road. I mean, that's valuable. And the reality is, if you call me and say, what should I buy? I'll tell you. You don't have to come to a class to me to tell you, but I'm going to let you feel it, touch it, and know why that is, so that in the future you're educated to do it.
Well, that's like, I wasn't even going to buy a buffer. Like, I got my Adams polisher. Like, I'm good. I put that Rupes in my hands. Like, damn it, there goes another $400 something. Like, I could not resist. So I got the new shiny tools, like always.
But it's like anything. You buy the right tools for the job, they're going to last.
Yeah.
You go to Harbor Freight, you're going to be buying that same tool over and over and over. So
I've been blessed too, and with Mark Hunter, like I said, I've reached out to him. I've helped him with PDR. He's helping me with this aspect too. So that's been another avenue for me to be able to find more information on everything and stuff, because I don't want to blow Carson and Matt up all the time. They're busy, which Mark is too. But at least now I can spread out my blowing people.
Keep calling Mark. Okay.
Right. But no, I mean, Mark's a couple things that he uses that I think I'm going to try out and stuff too. So just try and take all in and get what we can and like really blow it up. So he's got what angel wax is that, Mark? Mark's using an angel wax that I really like. You don't leave a haze and stuff. And that's going to be our one step for right now. I think it was really cool. So he's got a fire truck going through the shop.
I think Matt did.
Yeah, Angel Wax Regenerate. He put me onto that stuff, and it's really nice.
We've got a fire station directly across the street from us, so anytime they fire that sucker up, it gets loud over here. So.
Yeah.
When is the date on your next training?
It's Monday, Tuesday, April the 24th, 25th. I got to make sure. Yeah, 24th, 25th. It's a fly-in Sunday. I'll show you. I've got to put a hotel link on there. That's the last thing I add. But put a hotel link on there. Say the hotel that's 200 yards away from the shop. And then we'll go out to eat afterwards on Monday night. Hang out, talk shop. I mean, the real goal of this would be to keep it to a size where everyone there gets as much hands-on as they need. But then also when they leave, there's kind of a community of guys that are like, able to call me for anything, but also, Andy can call Nathan, or Nathan can call, the next guy, whatever it is, and just be like, hey, how'd you land that job? How'd you close that job? How are you working with insurance on that job? Just like we do in PDR. I mean, it's the same community, same conversations, but it's just with a new product that.
Now, how often are you going to do these classes?
Our goal is to do it somewhere between quarterly and probably 4 to 5 times a year. Okay. Hail season seems to be hard for guys to commit. And so we will probably take off somewhat in the summer, unless we really have a crazy demand. But this one will more than likely be the last one for a few months, because it's April, probably go through May, June, July, and then somewhere around August, September, setting up for the next one. Okay. So it's not going to be do every other month unless the demand is just crazy. I don't think it is, and I'm not trying to. I mean, I think a lot of guys are going to want to do this, but I think it's going to be the right guy. The guy that's interested in this is the guy who's like, I'm thinking about hiring an employee, I'm thinking about opening a shop, I'm thinking about getting off the hail trail, but I'm scared to do it. Just use PDR, or I'm a door dinger doing wholesale and I'm trying to do more retail, but I don't have enough door dings retail. Let me see if I can supplement that with something else. I mean, there's a lot of guys in the PDR world that this is a really, really good fit for.
Absolutely. Exactly. Well, that's what I wouldn't have been able to justify hiring Ray if I didn't have, your training coming up and stuff. Like, that's basically the end game for me to be able to hire Ray, was this training and everything. And it's worked out beautifully. So
I drug Carson down to MTE this year, and he was a bit overwhelmed because all the dent guys were mobbing him.
It happens, dude.
All the drunk dent guys were. So
yeah. How you just throw it on there? Carson's like, please never bring me back.
Next year they're doing a paint correction test or whatever. In the
Olympics or whatever.
Olympics. I don't know how they're going to do it, but Carson's like, sign me up. I will be there. So,
you hear that, Mark? You're going to have to sign up too. You're going to have to get your butt to MTE so you can sign up too. I want to see the best of the best compete.
Yeah.
Also, side note, you can go down and check out the mall where Stranger Things has been filmed. So it's literally right behind Matt's shop. And it kind of looks like Stranger Things if you walk about 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning. There's zombies walking down the hill. Me and Nathan are doing 75 hard together. We're walking up the hill like, it really looks like Walking Dead or some zombies coming down. I was like, let's go ahead and turn around here. Go back the other way. It was hilarious.
The shop that Carson's at right now, he's going to be leaving here in just a minute. Don't scare him, man.
Save some of my repairs for y'all. Yeah, like I said, and if anybody wants to reach out to me privately and talk about it, just to make sure, I'm going to be unbiased. I'm going to tell you the same thing I'm telling you on the show. Like, I'm a firm believer in this training. I think it was huge for our business. It streamlined us to where we're comfortable to start selling the stuff and making money off of it.
So y'all go check out ceramic101.com. Call Matt, whatever you got to do. Y'all jump on this. And
can I ask a question that I get asked all the time? And it has nothing to do with Ceramic 101, by the way. So it's like, I'm done selling the class. This is just like education.
You want our autograph? Sure, man.
No, that's it. Yeah, right here. Yeah. The question is actually for Carson, and he doesn't know about this. I get asked all the time, when I'm thinking about hiring someone, how do you find the right person? How do you talk the right person? How do you talk someone who's really talented into joining your team of what you're doing? I genuinely don't know what he's going to say on this. This is a loaded cannon right here. He might fire it in my face. But
be honest, Carson. This is an honest joke.
Carson, you have you have all the talent in the world, and you've got you worked at a shop that was literally our competition at one point, and then you worked for yourself. What made you want to be a part of our team?
You sold me on the vision, honestly. you sold me on yourself and you sold me on the business and the people around, and I couldn't say no. And still to this day, it was, and I'd say this with 100% honesty, it was one of the best decisions of my life.
That's
was
awesome.
Coming here.
Well, yeah,
So.
absolutely. I can see that. And that's what we want. We want the guys to have the same vision, and sometimes like for you guys looking to hire somebody or something like that, they might just fall in your lap like Ray did us. Ray came in to get his hell car repaired, started talking about being unhappy. It just clicked, and we got an amazing employee now. So you don't always be looking for them. Sometimes they just come right up to you and it works out. So
yeah.
Sorry, Matt.
No, you're fine. For me, as we've grown, I mean, part of scaling a business is hiring people to do things you could do, quote unquote, you could do yourself, right? You're hiring a manager to sell cars, hiring Ray to help greet customers, hiring a dent guy to push dents that you could have pushed yourself, right? And there's a leap of faith that goes with that to believe that there's going to be enough work for both of you, in some ways. We were talking about this off the air a little bit. I have, without exception, every single hire that I've had to this point, I'm sure it's going to fail at some point, but every single hire I've had at this point has eventually been better at the job I hired them for than I ever was at it. And it wasn't always day one. It might have been that they brought in and they didn't have any experience and I brought them in. Carson was one that day one, he was much better than I was at ceramic coating and paint correction. And because of that, his passion for it, that department has leveled up because he's running that department. The training wouldn't exist if he wasn't there. So some of that is just believing in that, lowering your own self-esteem a little bit and knowing you're not as good as you think you are at all the stuff you do. And so as which I know that, but as I've hired and as I've, a lot of it's just about being transparent with who you are and what your vision is, and the right people want to be a part of it, which is I think Carson's a great example of that.
And I think that's probably the end goal for anybody that's in a situation like, having a retail location and wanting to expand. If it comes down to just say me hiring somebody that I've got to train, I want to get them trained as quickly as possible to the level I'm at. And I'm hoping they exceed me, or finding somebody who can do it as good or better. I mean, that's what you want. You want somebody who has the passion and who can exceed what you could do, because it helps them, helps your business. And
Carson does. You can tell he's Team Easy Auto Spa. Like he was all in, like for the training, just how he carries himself and stuff. He fits right in like clockwork. So, I
mean, if you talk to a dent guy who's a really high quality dent guy, you'll hear them talking about maybe they get off on a subject where they're talking about drilling and the ethics of scanning cars, ethics of drilling. They're really passionate about something that, other guys might not care as much about, but that guy's like really you talk to a Bryce Kelly, he's passionate about doing as good or better, really better than any body shop could do with his repairs. He's passionate about it. And I see this all the time day to day, but in the class, it was really, just being honest, it was a huge blessing for me to watch Carson train because I got to see that passion come out in a way that I don't always see every day. I remember what I was referencing earlier. There was a moment where he was talking about, whether wet sanding on this brand new car with a little nip in the paint, whether wet sanding that to then paint correct was the right thing to do or not. And he started talking about it was a theory and this clear coat and the levels of clear coat. And it was this almost like it genuinely became almost like an ethics thing for him. Like it is my job to correct this clear coat, not just for myself for today, but for 10 years from now, if it ever gets corrected again, I want there to be enough clear coat to do it a second time or a third time. And a lot of guys with the cut and buff mentality don't care about tomorrow. They just get it done and send it. It's not unsimilar to a drill and bill kind of dent guy. And so there's a passion there that I am proud of, and I was proud to watch it, and it's exciting to see, and I love the training because I get to see that too. So that's exciting for me.
It's huge.
So I got a quick question. So ceramic coating, so if it's a 5-year, 9-year coating, whatever warranty on it, does it wear off? Does it how can it not be? Is it it's an extra layer of protection on your clear coat, so you're adding a thin layer. Does it just over time wear off because of the elements outside, or
So over time, the ceramic coating and clear coat are, you can think of it as the same thing. Okay. Clear coat has little hexagon pores inside. It's kind of the same thing with ceramic coatings as well. So one of the main reasons that ceramic coating dissipates over time is because a lot of brake dust and iron decontamination gets clogged inside the pores, and it eventually just dissipates the coating over time. That's why I always recommend every 6 months, just do an iron decontamination, just spray on, rinse off, and you should be unclogging all the pores and keeping it healthy, just letting it breathe.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
Another thing I want to touch on this, they don't, I mean, they're G-Technic, especially, like I know, because I don't know all the other companies or whatever. There's not just for your paint. They got it for your wheels. They got it for your interior. They got it for your glass. So, and that glass, I really want to get in and start offering that for some of my, my PDR customers. Like, hey, like, look at your glass, like how well that did. They're going to see that and be like, oh shit, like that'll save my paint too, like that. Like, yeah, that's kind of
the glass is a really, really easy upsell, especially for cars that have so much windshields and good roof. So, Brandon, that's a question that we get asked a lot by clients, and and I'll answer that question. But just so you know, in the class, we will go over all of the main questions we get asked and all of our rebuttals to them. And I'm happy to share with anybody who asked. I'm not like holding it back for that, but I'm just telling you that is part of this, is going through that. One of the questions we get asked is exactly that. What happens over time? Does it just stop? And I was like, well, think of, because we're a lot of times trying to upsell them from a 5-year to a 9-year, or from a 2-year to a 5-year, or whatever it is. So I'll say, think of buying a new set of tires for your vehicle. Your vehicle has a 60,000 rated tire versus a 30,000 rated tire, right? There's two comparisons to that. One, the 60,000 not only lasts longer, but it actually performs better while you have it on there. So just like that, a 5-year is not just going to last longer than 2 years. It's actually going to be more hydrophobic. It's going to be glossier. It's going to perform better. Also, similar to your tire, it's not enough to just throw them on there and drive and expect them to last 60,000 miles. You got to rotate and balance. You have to do regular maintenance. You have to keep a lookout, see if there's, nails in it or whatever, right? And it also means that at the 60,000 mile mark, it doesn't just fall off and stop working. It's not guaranteed it's going to last that long. It's also not guaranteed it's not going to last longer. Similar to that with a ceramic, this is a product that has been tested to last that long. We can guarantee that it has all the products and the processes to last that long. But if you take this car and park it outside under a tree and in the sun, and it never stays in a garage, and you don't ever hand wash it, it's not going to last that long. Yeah. And I can tell the client, it'll still look amazing. When you pick it up, it's going to look great. But I will actually downsell. If a client comes in and says, I'm looking at I have to, because of my age, I drive through a tunnel, I don't hand wash this car, I have to park it outside. I say, you know what, let us paint correct it, and let's do a 2-year. And then just plan on 2 years from now doing the whole process over again. And just keep doing that, rather than putting some 9-year that you're going to go out and beat to death and it's not going to last. Like, you don't need to spend that kind of money. So it's just a matter of kind of educating the client on it and setting them up to understand and be happy, but also, know that it's an amazing product. And if taken care of, it does last a really, really long time.
I like the analogy you use with the tires. That's a really great analogy to kind of put in somebody's head, the perspective of it and stuff. So
we've been selling this for years, so we know how to sell this stuff. I mean, we do a lot of it. So what were you saying, Brandon? Sorry.
I was going to say, just like tires, if you take care of them, they last. If you go out there and spin the wheels every chance you get, you're going to.
Yep.
It's not going to. So,
real quick, Mark asked if G-Technic reports to Carfax.
I believe if you register it through their website, then they report to Carfax, which the client actually has to go in and register it. We can register it, but then we're signing them up for emails that they didn't authorize. So it gets into some weird gray areas. Okay. So we tend to hand the client the information and all the stuff to go back and register it themselves. And I'm 99% sure. The honest truth is Preston would know that like that. My sales manager would, but that's not because I'm not the one that's typically selling in front of clients. I don't honestly know how that process exactly works.
Awesome. So before we get out of here, because I know we're over the hour mark, but it's fine. We do want to get to know Carson just a little bit better on a more personal level. So
he's a talker.
Just real quick. How long you been in the industry? How you get started in it? Have you married, kids, any of that? What you like to do outside of the ceramic world, in your case? But
Whew.
yeah, take it away, Carson.
Oh man, where do I start?
How old are you?
I am 24 years old.
Oh,
I have
you
been
baby.
in the automotive restoration industry for 8 years now. One of my first actual jobs was at a full service car wash right down the road from where I live. We were essentially, it was tunnel car wash and driving the car forward, wiping it off with some dirty towels and wiping off the interior with dirty towels and vacuuming and whatever, just a full service car wash. And I didn't like the stigma that it was attached to. The car wash itself wasn't very known for high quality work. So I had a buddy of mine that worked there as well, and you could get in pairs of 2 to clean the car. And me and him just really wanted to change the stigma, and we started pushing out really high quality work. High quality being, as far as we could go with the products that we had.
Yeah.
Started pushing out really high quality work. The money came a little bit later, but we ended up building this customer base of reoccurring clients that would just like keep coming back and seeing us, which is something that was like really unheard of for a car wash.
Right.
And I think that's where it really started, the love of spending time with vehicles and getting to know the car and all the body lines. And, as I work on a car, I think of, what is the interior made out of? What kind of carpet is this? Is this, a single stage paint? Is this a 2-stage paint? Is this, is this a V8 engine? Is it the V6? Is this a sports car? Is it a family commute? How would I wake up tomorrow with this car in my driveway? Like, how would I feel? I love spending a lot of time with cars, and I think that's really where it originated from. So I will always humble myself from where I came from. Something about me that I like to do outside of work, I love skateboarding. I'm very interested in technology and penetration testing.
Penetration? Hold on.
Hey, I think
what is penetration testing?
So it's a cybersecurity term. It's where you're essentially getting paid to find backdoors into websites. And
remember, we're dumb dick guys. So you say penetration testing.
Yeah. I should have. Yeah, but I love anything and all technology. I love development and manufacturing of apparel or stickers, or making my own Yetis or stuff like that. I do a lot of photography and videography on the side. I've been doing that for a couple years. Kind of more of a hobby. I'd never expect anything to come for it, and it's not anything that I would ever go out and try to show off my pictures. It's just something that I genuinely do for fun, and I push myself to take better pictures and edit better videos with each one that I do.
You do a lot of pictures for Easy Auto Spot, right?
Yes, I do.
What
I do a lot.
You use?
I have a Sony A7R3 with I think the lens that I have right now is a 3.5 2470. I think I'll have to double check.
I don't know nothing about it. Brady does, so we're good. Matt don't either. We hire people for
close range, mid range, type lens.
If you notice a bunch of Easy Auto, like I said, Carson's one behind that, and he's done a great job with it. So,
thank you, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
I don't really know what else to say.
Oh no, that was good, man. And you're a ginger, so you're not.
Absolutely,
ginger, bro.
I love it.
And he's been in the industry a third of his life, guys. Like, if I don't tell you nothing about who you need to be training, you a guy that's been in the industry a third of his life. Like, let's go.
So when you worked for the tunnel car wash, did you ever have to clean the pit out?
So, yeah, funny story. The owner wasn't involved in the business very much. Neither was management, so the pit never really got cleaned.
Oh God!
It
Did
kind
Jim
of
Whisper own that car wash? I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
and you know, I won't say the name of the business, but eventually the tunnel would flood and contaminants from inside of the pit would flow out of the top and flow outside down the street. So that would be cleaning the pit for us.
Oh, nice. So my very first paying job was a car wash the same way, like that. And but he had several, kind of a bigger one down here. But once every about 2 months or whatever, he'd pay me and another guy $500 cash under the table, and we'd do it after hours at night. And we'd move the grates, and we'd hook a trailer to the truck and just start getting it out. You know, it was probably a couple inches, because you know how deep them pits are. And if you let it go and overflow, it's 3 foot deep or whatever.
So we penetration testing.
Yeah. But here was the fun part. So it wouldn't take us hour and a half, maybe hour to do it, because we drink a bunch of, energy drinks and take White Crosses and stuff like that, and just be like this the whole time. But at the end of it, we turn all the car wash on besides the hot soap, and we walk through that sucker. We jump on the things and spin around and hit the dryers at the end and see how far we could go until somebody turned it off. But,
Danny said he worked at a car wash downtown Nashville for a week. We just didn't like the smell of crack. I understand. I was in Madison. Do it. If that tells you anything. So,
but anyway, it was fun at the time. Young, 18-year-old, whatever. But cool, man. I hope y'all get. I hope every one of them you do is, loaded out with guys. And I think doing it 4 or 5 times a year is perfect. That way you get a bunch of people who want to do it. And,
if we have 3 guys sign up, we're still doing it. If we have 1 guy sign up, we're still, it don't matter to me. We're going to do it. We've got the date set up. We're going to have cars there to do it with. And we're going to have and I'm going to be hands-on. I mean, it'll be, every time we do this, as I said, it'll be me and Carson. And if we need to have, if we have a full 8, we're going to have at least 1 more tech with us just to help. What was cool was when we said we were doing this, our distributor reached out to us. Another local detailer that we respect and send some mobile work to reached out to. I probably had 5 people in the industry, in the detail world, that are local, that said, hey, if you need an extra body, I want to be there. I love the idea of education. And they're very, very hands-on. I mean, G-Technic was kind enough to swing by. When you were there, they were shooting a video, but then again, they already gave me the code for it, but every attendee that comes gets $100 off. You buy $101 worth of stuff at G-Technic, get $100 off on it, just for showing up. And then nice.
Thanks, Carson.
Solid, man. That's good.
That's all us dent guys will remember about this show.
They're done, man. Maybe next year at MT, there'll be penetration.
Oh,
but if your question, if you want to see what the video looks like, Andy's got his, and it's on my website. I have it posted. But yeah, if you have any questions at all, I'm not, again, if you're on the fence, or if you're already, I had somebody I talked to today that's already ceramic coating cars with a different brand. I was like, I'm happy to have you, but this is going to be for guys that really want to learn from the get-go. If you feel like you know everything, I'm probably not going to be the right fit for it, because we want to kind of show that you don't really know everything, and then take you from there. So it's been, like I said, I feel like, as dumb as us PDR guys are, we do read things with our eyes. We see with light, and that makes it where the learning curve is just smaller, in my opinion, than I think I originally thought it was. Now it's still a big gap. And to be an expert, there's still a big gap. We still have to practice, but you can go home. And from a price point standpoint, my goal was, the class, we've got it listed at, it's $1,600. You sign up for a class, you pay $1,600. You go home, you buy depending on what you already have, you buy some tools, you buy 3 bottles of product. And basically by the time you sell those 3 coatings, you've paid for the training, you've paid for all your tools, you paid for any SEO you might've thrown out to get those 3, and you've put money in your pocket. So, and the day one you can go off and, I mean, realistically with 2 coatings, you would pay for the class and probably your starter tools. And if you need a buffer, that's, a few $100 or whatever. But, we just want to give, I mean, if you're just kicking the tire around and thinking about it, this might not be for you, but if you want to go back and then when you get back, start selling, that's what we want. So,
yeah, I fully agree. Like y'all definitely completed that with me and Ray. I'm sure Nathan too. So I will speak for Nathan. I know his mind was blown too. So, and little Mikey loved the shit out of it. Mikey was a detail guy. He was all in it.
And if anybody is out there that wants to send one of their technicians, but maybe, we had the same conversation with Andy. You were sending a technician, but then there's this sense of, it's my first time hiring someone. What happens if 6 months from now he isn't with me anymore for whatever reason? Not that that's the case with Ray, but
if sick one day when we got
what's the worst? And so if you want to attend as well, we could talk to you and figure out a rate that makes sense for you to bring 2 guys. Like we're not, again, we want it to be that it makes sense for you to come to learn, to where when you walk away, you feel 100% confident that you made the right decision and that it's significantly more valuable than you paid for it. So
awesome.
I want to personally thank both of you guys for sharing your knowledge, taking the time out to make it right. Like I feel like you guys did great by me, and I'm very pleased with the training. So like I said, I can't say enough good things about it.
Appreciate you coming down. I appreciate y'all taking a chance and letting us beta test on you take all those photos of you. We needed Andy in all our photos. So
yeah. So for everybody, Matt's beta test is our final test on anything we do. So just to let you know, you already know how Matt rolls.
Yeah. Well,
awesome.
Anybody who's interested, April 24th and 25th is our next one. And just hit me up if you have any questions.
Are the dates on the website?
Yeah, dates are on there. Sign up links are on there, and it's 8 spots. That's all that'll sell. It won't let me sell. Like I've got it set with a limit. So if it says there's 2 left, there's 2 left. I don't have any control over it. So
perfect.
All right, guys. So ceramic101.com. Go to it and sign up for it. But like Andy said, we appreciate y'all coming on.
Absolutely.
We always love having you on here, and any kind of knowledge that any of us can get. This is kind of outside of our norm for our show, but we love it. Because you're good friends with us,
it's stuff we believe in, like like Gene and John's training. It's stuff we firmly believe in and would stand behind. So we wouldn't just do this. Like everybody knows how our show, like how we like to do it. But certain times like this, we need to get this out to the public. So
and we learned that Carson loves penetration. So testing, penetration testing. That's it.
Sorry, Carson.
Oh goodness. Anyway, So yeah, appreciate y'all coming on. Appreciate everybody watching. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here, but I'm gonna close it out. But I'm gonna put all of us in the back room, and then once I end it, we'll say our goodbyes. So we don't even know who we're gonna have on next week, but we'll let everybody know.
Yeah, we got that far. It's been busy.
We got a whole list, so we'll reach out to somebody. So if we reach out to you, just say yes, you're gonna be on the show.
We're good.
So anyway, appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Peace out.
Bye, everybody.